Hey guys, so today's going to be a different kind of video. So for today's video, I got to talk with someone that I admire, and his name is Joshua Mora. So Joshua has an account on TikTok called Joshuamoraishere1, and he just makes videos where he talks to you like how I am, and he talks to you like positively. He uplifts you positively. And well, I found that to be a great thing. I feel like in this world it's easier to focus on something negative and to talk about it. So I just wanted to talk about something positive, and I feel like Joshua is a good example of that. So that's why I wanted to make this video, to find out who he is and why he does this. I also wanted to make this video because my brother, he introduced me to him, and I just wanted to mess with him a bit. Just a little bit, but yeah, I just wanted to freak him out. So yeah, just from talking to him, he's a really nice dude. And I enjoyed talking to him. I enjoyed my conversations with him. I enjoyed it even when we got sidetracked from the questions I had for him. I just really enjoyed talking to him. He's a good conversationalist, and yeah, I mean, he's just overall a really nice dude. So here's the interview with him, and I just want to take the time to say thank you to Joshua for giving me the opportunity to do this video with him. Thank you for giving me your time to do this, and I appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, here are the examples of the content that he makes, and right after that we'll get into the interview. So I hope you enjoy.
Keep going, you got this. You're halfway through the week. I know it might be Wednesday. I know the week might not be over, but you got this and you will do amazing. I love you. God loves you. The universe loves you. Everybody loves you. And you will do amazing for the rest of the week, the rest of the year, the rest of the day, whatever you want to call it. I love you. Love you. Speedrun Josh is out of here. Goodbye. Have a good day. You are doing amazing, no matter what anyone says. I mean, I'm so glad that you're here. You should be so glad that you're here. It is so amazing that you are still here. You are still alive. You're still breathing. You are still having an amazing life, even if you don't think so. Remind yourself that you are doing okay and that everything will turn out wonderful. I mean, it's beautiful. If it's not beautiful, it's still beautiful, if that makes sense. Anyway, I love you all. Hopefully you all have an amazing rest of your day. Let's smile. Let's keep the positive vibes flowing. Let's have a random dance party. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We're not having a random dance party. You're going to have an amazing day, and you will continue to have an amazing day and an amazing life. Love you all, and talk again soon. Bye-bye.
And I am recording now.
Tell me when it's actually recording. Right now?
Yeah, it's recording now. So we
Perfect.
are recording.
And obviously you're gonna chop off, whatever you don't need. That stuff. Like what I just said. You're not gonna
I just
put that in there.
Dude, I just want to say, like, it's crazy to me that I'm even speaking to you right now, because it's like I've seen your videos and I appreciate them so much and everything.
Yes, I know. Isn't this crazy thing called the internet so beautiful and magical?
Right. It is
so
amazing.
Why are we talking to each other? What? Who are you? Why?
Mind blown. Mind blown.
Hey, stranger.
Yeah. Stranger danger. Wow, crazy.
Get off. Oh, sorry. It's just Kyle. No worries.
And it's crazy that I'm even... Because you're kind of like low-key, you're kind of like a celebrity to me.
Oh, really? Oh, that's the first I've heard of that.
Well, I mean, like, I've seen your videos on the internet.
No one has ever said, oh, you're kind of a celebrity to me before. They've been like, oh, you're the GOAT. Oh, thanks, King. Oh, But never specifically, oh, What you said, kind of celebrity. I don't know what
Yeah.
you mean by that. I mean, I sort of know what you mean by that, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
well, like, I mean, I've seen your videos on the internet, so that's really all I know you from. Like, you're just like
Mhm.
this,
Well, now you
this,
get to know me in person. Well,
right?
not in person. You know what I mean, over a
I
screen.
get what you mean, yeah. And, I, I discovered your videos through my little brother. She, watches your videos, she
Really?
follows, yeah. And so he showed me,
Isn't that coincidence so funny?
right? It's so funny. And so, like, I think he's probably gonna, like, um, be like he's gonna freak out when he sees that I made a video with you, and he's gonna be like, dude, you made
Hmm.
a video with him and all that.
It's gonna be like, Josh. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
um
Joshua. By the way, people like to ask that, so I do want to make it clear. People don't know if they call me Josh or Joshua. I
yeah,
prefer Joshua since that's my actual name.
okay, okay, got you.
Although back in middle school and high school, there were multiple Joshes in certain classes. Like specifically, one reading class in middle school, there was four Joshuas in one class.
Oh wow.
So one was Joshua,
Hmm.
one was Josh, one was Josh with their last name.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say the last name.
Yeah.
And then one was their first name with a number.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's how the teacher distinguished which Josh was which.
Yeah, I got you.
You know,
um
because she could have just said, okay, that Josh over there, that Josh over there, that Josh. You know, she could have just pointed at us. She
yeah,
did sometimes, but you know what I mean.
yeah, I got you. Like, if she needed to address,
Mhm.
like, during
But yeah, I just wanted to say to everyone, you
mm,
know, it's
yeah,
Joshua.
Joshua. Okay, I got you.
Unless there's other Joshuas in the room,
Hmm. Well,
then that gets confusing.
well, I just want to say, thank you for, like, giving me your time to, like, do this call, Joshua.
Of course,
I
no
really
worries.
do appreciate it. Like, it
I've
is
never done something informal like this before.
right,
Because normally it's like, I mean, it kind of feels like a conversation, but I
right.
know you had like question in the sense of you asking me questions or talking to me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've never done specifically something like this before. You know,
Right,
a job interview, there's that, but that's more professional. You
right.
know, talking with friends, that
Mm-hmm.
is more casual, where this is kind of in between, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, it is our first time, like, meeting each other and, like, getting to know each
Hmm.
other. But
Yep.
ultimately, that's what I want for us. Like, I want it to feel like a conversation between us.
Hmm. Of course.
Um,
I mean,
as
for all you know, I could be your next door neighbor.
right.
Now, and I also wanted to mention that doing this content creation and stuff,
Yeah.
it did help me get out of my shell and become more confident. Oh, if you had met me 2 or 3 years ago,
Hmm.
uh, hey,
Yeah.
how are you? How? Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to talk, and I just walk out.
Right. It does. No, that's the thing
um,
about content creation. It really does help you, like, find your own voice. Like, it does push you to
What's
figure
like
out.
shit? I'm talking to people.
Right. Yeah.
I can't be like, hey, how's it? How's it?
Hmm.
Eventually, I got to, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah, it
Hmm.
took a few months to get there. You
Yeah.
know, get that confidence up.
Oh yeah. When I
The next
first.
level is to eventually do it in public,
Hmm.
because most places I've done it are more private,
Yeah.
morely home. I've done it a few times in a few trips, but usually I pick somewhere quiet. I
Hmm.
want to go somewhere where there's like 50 or 100 people, and I just do not give a fuck.
Hmm.
Like, you know, you don't care about other people's opinions because you know your opinion of yourself is most important.
Right.
Um, you know, I can do that in front of maybe myself and one other person, but I can't do it in front of a full room yet, which is a good
Yeah.
skill to have because then I can maybe have a mastermind or something in the future and
Hmm.
talk to 400 or 500 people at once, which
Right.
I might just shit myself.
Mhm. Dude, I hate public speaking. Like, I especially, like, if it's like for a class, even it's like such a simple thing. Like, it's such a good skill to have, but even for,
Hmm.
like, such a simple thing as asking or answering a question to a professor in front of the whole class, it still makes me feel nervous. I still feel shaky. Like, my voice feels shaky when I do
Hmm.
it.
Yep.
Um,
So that's, I don't know if you know this. I did go to college for 2 years,
hmm.
but I'm currently taking a gap year because I had some health issues.
Yeah.
So my stomach like really hurt for like a year and a half. Like the bottom right, I'm like, what the hell's happening? Like, I literally had to sit there.
Yeah.
Like the pain was
Oh man.
immensible, and I'm like,
I'm sorry to
goodness.
hear about that, man.
Or I had to, lie down or something like that. By the way, if I was still in college, I probably wouldn't be doing the content creation
Yeah.
because
Cause
I'm
your
like,
focus
well,
would be
let me
on
just
that, right?
yeah, because I'm like, well, let me just try this because I've always wanted to try it. Now's the time to do it when I'm, not doing as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to your point of asking a professor a question in front of the whole class. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, if I dislike these professors, the ones that they just call you out, they're like, "So, do you know the answer, Joshua?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know the answer. Why are you calling on me?"
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
if I have a personal question for the professor, I had waited to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, currently, I don't think I'm going to go back to college. I've discovered that it's not for me. And
Yeah.
also, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Mm-hmm.
People have called me. I believe it to be true, but 99% of people in the world don't believe it to be true. That's why there's the 99% and 1% of people,
Okay.
right? Let's just say this. There's an Agenda 2030 that's happening, and the world is about to get fucked up by the elites of the world,
Yeah.
right? And part of their plan involves school. So they force you to go to school from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Mm-hmm.
12 years statistically, scientists have looked into it, is how much it takes to indoctrinate a person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why they do about 12 to 13 years of primary schooling, right?
Right.
To make sure you're programmed to, oh, I want a job, a safe job, work
Mm-hmm.
that the rest of my life, even if I hate it, maybe retire, which
Right.
might not even be possible for our generation because shit is wacky.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, or you die, in that job that you don't like.
Right.
Um, and then you maybe enjoy it for 5 to 10 years. I had to indoctrinate myself and realize, because obviously everyone's different. I realized for myself this might be different for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to understand what you want.
Right.
Eventually, I want to work for myself. The goal is financial freedom,
Mm-hmm.
having a bunch of money, which
Right.
would then free up my time
Mm-hmm.
to have time freedom to do whatever I want when I want, which
Right.
would free up being able to have travel freedom
Mm-hmm.
to go wherever I want. So have as much money as I want to spend whenever I want on whatever I want
Mm-hmm.
to make more money because you have to use money as a tool to make more money.
Yeah.
And then that would allow me to have more time for other stuff like my family and that stuff, which I don't have yet, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff, right?
Right.
Um, and also then I can curate what I want to be doing, not what my boss or someone else wants me to be doing, right?
Right.
So I'm totally free from the system,
Mm-hmm.
which then the money and time would allow me to travel wherever I want, whenever I want.
Right.
And that's why I like social media and making internet money
Mm-hmm.
because, eventually in the future, it really hasn't taken off yet, but it will. I know it will.
Yeah.
You got to, you have to have a positive mindset.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's why I'm so positive. You
Mm-hmm.
have to say no because a lot of people be like, no, that will never work out. That will never work out.
And then
But
you
you have to
limit
say,
yourself. Like
yes,
you're
it
putting those
will.
limited self beliefs on yourself
Mm-hmm.
to
Yep.
where
But anyway,
therefore it becomes true.
it might take 5, 10, 15 years to get to totally free from the system. Time freedom, money freedom, travel freedom, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the goal is to be able to do whatever I want, when I want, how I want, wherever I want.
Yeah.
But the only way to do that is to make your own money and work for yourself.
Oh yeah.
You know, um, Currently, I really haven't started this, but I'm planning to soon, which the procrastination is really killing me. I don't know why I'm starting. I honestly think I'm gonna admit this. I think I'm too scared to fail. And
Mm-hmm.
took
Oh, I
my
get
dad
that.
telling me that to say that. That's why there's only 1% in the world. 1% of the world actually is not afraid to fail, and they
Right.
use failure as the best teacher
Mm-hmm.
to learn what to do in the future.
Right.
Also a lot of people don't want to fail because they have the mindset, oh, what's my mom going to think about me? What's my dad going to think about me?
Right.
What's that random stranger over the get? Who gives a fuck
Right.
about what that random stranger or your family thinks about you?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, my family thinks I'm crazy for not being in college right now, even though that's a little bit rude since I had that health issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's my decision,
Right.
not theirs. I know they can tell me, you know, um, we're doing what's best for you, but then I tell them, you're doing what's best for you based on what you know.
Mm-hmm.
I know different things. I grew up in a different generation. So,
Yes.
and then when I tell them that, they're like, yeah, but things are mostly the same. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, really? Tell me the
Right.
things in 2025 are the same when you were in college in
Oh
1980s.
yeah, no, for sure. And it's like it's it's that thing of like, I mean, everyone has a different life path. Like, what you choose
Hmm.
for your life path is what you choose, and you make those decisions for yourself. But I think people, like, especially like with like our parents and stuff like that, where they think
Hmm.
they grew up in they grew up with being told and being fed the information of like, if you do things a certain way,
Hmm.
then you
And
will
things get
achieve.
passed down from your older relatives.
Right.
You
So
know,
it's
people
like,
don't want to be the black sheep and break the, societal norms because most people are too scared to fail or think about what other people are
mm-hmm.
going to think of them. As long as the person is not harming me, then who gives a fuck?
Right. Who gives a fuck? Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they're harming you, you should react, differently to make sure you stop the harm.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean by that. But anyway, back to that. A lot of people are on scarcity mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the one world government, as I like to call it, there's not different governments in the world. The politicians, they're all puppets for the one world government.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's multiple governments in the world to make it look like you have choice, right? And then they give you the Republican and Democratic Party,
Yeah.
and then it looks like they're always fighting with each other. They're on the same side.
Mm-hmm.
They're just acting. They're all acting for the one world government. They're all paid off.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know if you're fine with me talking about that because I am a little bit of a
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist,
No.
and I like brutal honesty. The honesty ties into the
Mm-hmm.
positivity. You have to be brutally honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's not working? What's working? What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? And actually act on it. I gotta be honest. Some things I'd be brutally honest about myself, and I'm like, I didn't live up to that. Mm-mm-mm. Nope.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
But
then,
do you think
that's
with
the
that
thing.
comes with this mindset of being too hard on yourself as a person when you're not like living up to like, it's good to live up to what your principles for yourself and all that, but at the end of the day, you're human, right? So like, you're not perfect.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna fall short of yourself from time to time.
Hmm.
Do you
So
think
to
with
answer
that?
your question, well, go ahead, finish your question before I
So
answer.
so like, with that kind of mindset, do you think that that comes with being too hard on yourself? I definitely am hard on myself as a person. So.
So there's a difference between being hard on your. This is what I believe. Again, everyone has different beliefs, which is why there's so much clashing in this world,
Right.
and why it's easier to, um, well, let me go back to the other thing first because it kind of ties in.
Yeah.
So scarcity, um, being scared. I forgot what it's called. There's some type of graph where it lists out all the emotions like 1 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if 1 or 24 is like the most vulnerable or the least vulnerable.
Yeah.
But anyway, at one of the end of the spectrums is scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Scarcity is the lowest vibration on the scale.
Yeah.
So if the government can get you in a scarcity mindset, you're more easily to do something against their wishes. The
Right.
more happy and awake you are, the more you're going to think clearly and do what is better for you or the world, right?
Oh yeah.
Whereas if you're scared, you ever notice how you shiver, you just feel so weird and off?
Mm-hmm.
When you're vulnerable like that, you're more likely to buy something, you're more likely to act a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
which is why this world is so fucked up. But I could talk about that for hours, but that's
Oh
not the
yeah.
main purpose of this. But anyway, back to your other thing. There's a difference between being hard and hard on yourself and hard on others and hard from others. So three different things.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be hard on others in moderation
Right.
so that they hear the criticism, but don't go too far where you hurt their feelings and they want to die. Because
Right.
I've had that happen. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. You can cut this out. So
Yeah.
I have had suicidal thoughts before,
Mm-hmm.
because people were too hard on me. So you can
Yeah.
project that to other people like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other people, same thing back to you. Don't go too hard, but also don't go too light just
Right.
because,
Because then you can like
and
fall in a place of
they won't feel
being.
compelled to do anything, right?
Mm.
You have to find that middle balance. I like the word balance. How, oh, hold on. What's that noise? I don't know. Anyway, I like balance. I like, you know, oh my God, the one time I need to be quiet, they're cutting trees at my next door neighbor's house.
Oh
I
no.
can hear that through my headphones.
Oh.
Literally, it's always quiet except for the one time. Oh, that's crazy timing. But anyway, back to the other thing. If it's too hard, then someone might want to, themselves.
Right.
Or if it's too light, they might not feel compelled to act. You need to find the middle balance.
Mm-hmm.
Balance is key to everything. Balance your work, life,
Mm-hmm.
uh, your work, school, exercise. Everything you do in
Yeah.
your life, there's
Everything. Yeah.
balance. I know a lot of people, they're off balance because they work the whole day because everything's expensive.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
um, just know people are not paid enough in this country. That's on purpose.
Mm. Hey, I mean, same
um,
thing's going on in the U.S. I mean, minimum
yep.
wage has not been raised up. It's 7.25 an hour. So it's
hmm Yep. No
and
state, I heard this the other day, no state in the country, um, in any state in the United States, all 50 states plus Washington, D.C.,
mm-hmm.
no states have any minimum wage worker that can afford to live by themselves on minimum wage.
Yep.
So let me rephrase that because that sounded a little bit weird. But
Mm-hmm.
in any state in the United States, minimum wage is not enough to get a one-bedroom apartment for anyone.
Oh yeah.
You have to live with at least 3 or 4 people. That's what I heard. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
some
No.
people want to live alone.
Oh yeah. No, for
Um,
sure. There's like right now, even if like even with like I guess like if say like you're getting paid like 15 an hour, which um is more
okay,
than
we're
that.
gonna have to move. Do you mind
Hmm?
Do you mind stopping the recording?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move recording.
And back at it again.
Hello, welcome back to the podcast. This is my friend Kyle, and today we are talking about magical rainbow unicorns. Yes, yes, yes. It is a beautiful topic. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize we were on an interview.
No. Host up. Go off. Um, yeah.
Wait, what'd you say? I didn't understand anything. What was that gibberish you just said?
I don't remember where we last left off. But I guess I could like start off with the question of
Hold on. I have a pretty good memory. Let me awkwardly stare into the recording and let me think about this. I think we were. Does this make sense? We were talking about balance. Yes, balance
yeah, we were
and
talking
that
about
stuff.
balance. Yeah.
So anyway, I was telling you the three different ones. I'll just restate it so you have it in one thing. So there's being hard on others, there's being hard on yourself, and then there's being hard from some other person. So
Mm-hmm.
being hard to others, you can give them criticism, but you do not want to be too critical to where they want to die, or
Yeah. Where it affects their mental
you
health.
know. But you,
Yeah.
yep. But you also don't want to go too light, so they don't feel compelled to not act. And I'm just repeating some of this stuff, so I'll throw it
Yeah.
together because there was one thought. We just didn't get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's being hard from others. Same thing. They shouldn't be too hard to you, otherwise,
Right.
you know. I yeah. I haven't talked about this publicly. My family is only my family knows about this.
Yeah.
But I have been suicidal before. My family has had to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at knives and be like, oh, what if I just stab myself right now and die because I don't want to be here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
partly
understand that.
blaming my family. My family is kind of toxic. I'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, so if someone's too hard to you, then that might not be good because your body might naturally totally, shut down, or um, you might have bad thoughts. Whereas
Yeah.
if my dad, he is too light on the criticism, I might not act on it, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
that's an example, another person to me. And then the third one, on yourself. I honestly don't think there's anything as being too hard on yourself because you're the best critic of yourself.
Yeah.
No one else is gonna go. No one else is gonna criticize you as hard as
Yeah.
yourself,
Right.
right? You can. You're the only person that can tell yourself, "Well, we just fucked that up." Up to us to um,
To try to.
fix that and
Yeah.
continue going.
Right.
Right down. I think I'm getting too comfortable here. My brain's like shutting off.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so um, you should always be a good critic of yourself because you might not have someone else to, criticize you. And
Yeah.
also, you be the best critic of yourself because going back to the last point or
Mm-hmm.
another point, you know yourself the best and you
Right.
can talk for your demons and angels together, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I.
Yeah, normally my brain is rapid fire, but
Yeah.
I just noticed there literally was no thought after that. I'm like, think of something to say, Josh, unless Kyle has something to
Oh
say.
no. Yeah. And don't try to like force yourself to try to like think of something to say. I. I think that's.
Hmm.
Yeah. I do agree with that because it's like, and I do think that like it is good to be a critic of yourself. Like you have to be a good critic of yourself rather than a negative critic. Because I mean, like, if you
Hmm.
you want to have like instill like positive like self talk rather than like the negative self
Hmm.
talk. Um, so like,
Yep. This is actually a good segue to go to. I was going to talk about the negativity aspect.
right.
So, obviously, you've seen all my videos, or if you've never seen me before, because I don't know what parts of this you're going to clip up and not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, you notice that it's a lot of positive stuff and motivation and that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, to get in that mindset, it has took me probably 2 years to get there. Before I used to think negatively, scarcely, um, not in my shell. As I told you before, I'd be like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
I could barely talk to anyone.
Right.
Now I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on, everyone? How are you
Yeah.
doing? And, have an amazing day. You don't want to do that in social media. You don't want to, hey guys,
Mm-hmm.
how's it going? Look how close the phone is to my, awkwardly talking and staring there. But anyway, um, I used to think, oh, that's never gonna work. Oh, why does my life suck? Oh, it's that person's fault. It's the world's fault. I'm so fucking angry at the world. You know
Right.
what I mean? Where now it's like, I think if any negative thought comes in my head, it will work out. Everything will go great no matter
Mm-hmm.
how shitty life is, because this is gonna piss some people off. It has in some of my content. God is real and God is with us, because not everyone is religious, obviously.
Yeah.
Some people are gonna be, oh, God. You need something that's a higher purpose than you.
Mm-hmm.
God is my higher purpose. He looks out for all of us. And
Mm-hmm.
I know because so many coincidences happen. I
Yeah.
ask him for something, and maybe an hour or two later it happens, or 5 minutes. It depends, different timing
Right.
on different things, if you know what I mean. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um, if any negative thought comes into your head, you have to think positively. Like, let me give an example. Like, if you're thinking, well, it's kind of hard to give an example because none are coming to my head right now. It'd be
Yeah.
helpful. But anyway, if you have a negative thought that comes into your head, you say, this thought will pass by.
Mm-hmm.
It is better to be positive and spread your light with the world because this world is mostly negative,
Right.
right? Um, this will be amazing. It will go great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will work out. I know
Right.
this might be a terrible situation, but everything will work out. You have to have a positive mindset. Also,
Mm-hmm.
um, your brain is rewirable. There's a difference between your subconscious and conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not everyone knows about this, so I'm gonna discuss about it. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that topic.
I'm not 100% versed in the topic,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try to explain the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a conscious and subconscious brain.
Right.
Your conscious brain is telling you to do certain stuff, but it's up to you to tap into your subconscious brain to make decisions. Like if your conscious brain is telling you we should go jump off of that waterfall,
Right.
you have to tap into your subconscious brain to say, no, we do not want to die. We're meant to
Mm-hmm.
be here. Or
Right.
if you're thinking about,
Yeah.
the other bad topic,
It's like
you
yeah,
have to say no, you know.
it's like you're at a crossroads where it's like you're given like the red pill and the blue pill, right? You know, like that kind of
Mm,
idea
yep.
where it's like I could do this or I could not do this, and then for for those types of situations, it's good to take a step back and kind of, like you said, tapping into your subconscious, where it's like, why,
Hmm.
why do I feel the need to do this? Why am I
Hmm.
this way? Why am I doing this? You know,
Hold on.
and then it
I'm
runs
sitting in the
deeper.
garage and it's, give me a second. I'm sitting in the garage right now and it's very loud because my sister just turned on the car. So give it
Okay.
a second. That humming is gonna piss me off. Think positively, think happily, try to smile as much. I've heard that 15 minutes of laughter every day is good enough to keep you happy and everything. I'm like, oh, only 15 minutes, really?
Right.
um, Now, your environment does play a part in your happiness and positivity. I
Right.
do have an advantage in that, which is why I can be more happy and positive. I feel very blessed to live in a house that is definitely too big for four people.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say without. I don't want to. Obviously, since this is recording, I don't want to say too much information.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's all I say.
But
Uh,
no,
we
I.
have too we have too much space for four people. So basically, if I ever need to decompress, there's
Mhm.
multiple places in the house that I could go hide to be away from my family, and
Right. And
no more
regulate
people.
yourself.
Where
Right.
some people they live in close quarters and can't do that,
Mm-hmm.
or especially if you're in a city in a small apartment with four other people,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't do it in your apartment because you're living in close quarters with other people.
Right.
Depending on where you live in the city, there might be other people at the side, so you still have to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live right in the heart of a city, so we have land here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if my family's inside, as long as it's not raining, because welcome to New England, where it rains 6 out of the 7 days on average
Yeah.
every week. There's barely any sun. If it's not raining, I go outside. But
Yeah.
anyway, the point is, I can distance myself from people because of the space. Now, part of that is money.
Yeah.
Everything ties back to money.
Yeah.
My family has a little bit of money. I'm just gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
So that allowed us to buy this, house.
Yeah.
Um, so I'd love to say the price of the house, but then that would make it
Yeah.
a
No.
lot easier to. I like privacy and that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I guess privacy ties into this.
Mm-hmm.
Privacy gives you time to decompress and whatever.
Oh yeah.
Natural human, natural human nature. Humans have always needed time to decompress, but because of all this artificial stuff, some people don't have the option to decompress because some people are squeezed into cities, right? Some
Right.
people are too addicted to their phones. There's different types of decompressing. There's like decompressing from your phone,
Mm-hmm.
decompressing from other people, decompressing from work, and there's different
Yeah.
strategies to do different ones.
Yeah. It seems like
Exercise is a great
I was just gonna say it
exercise
seems.
is a great. Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it
I don't
seems
want to
like
cut. I don't want to cut off Kyle.
yeah. I was just gonna say it seems like the norm right now is that the norm in society is that we're constantly overloaded with so much like information. It's just like an overload of
Hmm.
information in our day to day lives. You know, just like overload. We're constantly
Hmm. Yep.
processing so much, and so we don't really have time to decompress. Um,
Hmm. I'm gonna look up. There's a specific term for that, so I can talk about that.
yeah.
I love artificial intelligence, so let's ask ChatGPT what it thinks. What is that term that describes when you have too many options? You know how there's FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. What is the exact term, but for when you have too many options? It's like FOBO or something. I don't remember the
Mm-hmm.
exact one because there's FOMO, fear of missing out, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that one.
Right.
The other one I learned about. Let me see if it let's see. Ah, there it is. Yep, FOBO, FOBO, fear of better options.
Okay.
So FOBO is when you're paralyzed by the idea that a better option might be out there, so you delay or avoid making a better decision.
mm-hmm.
So I partly blame social media for that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have FOBO, fear a better option, because they see everyone doing different things on social media, but there's too many options.
Right.
So then everyone gets paralyzed. I get sucked into this, and they're like, okay, which of these 15 options should I do? But
Mm-hmm.
then they get paralyzed because no one wants to think about it and pick one of
It's
them,
there's that other
right?
term. There's that other term that I remember. That's come to mind. Analysis paralysis, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like
Yep.
similar to phobo, or it could be the
Mm-hmm.
same thing as
By the
phobo.
way, humans on average can only think about humans on average can only think about three or four things in their brain at once.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give more than three or four options, that's why at restaurants like McDonald's or Burger King, they only have a small, medium, and large, no more than that. Because if it's four more options, it confuses people, or
Mm-hmm.
their brain gets overloaded.
Okay.
That's part of marketing in that one. Like if I really think about it, I can think about five things at once, but then I really have to stress my brain. I have
Right.
to, you know
Yeah,
what I
it's too
mean? I
much.
kind of
Yeah.
have to force my brain. I can just sit there and think about three or four things at once,
Mm-hmm.
trying to connect things, but then it's anyway. I learned that. I thought that was interesting. All I say is I probably know more than a lot of people my age, and
Yeah.
I'm probably a bit more mature than most 21-year-olds. Because remember, most are at college drinking booze and getting high and
Mm-hmm.
smoking the za,
Yeah.
and not really caring about their future. I
Mm-hmm.
give a fuck about my future. Um, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I don't want 4 more years of indoctrination.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, actually, we didn't finish that conversation. So anyway, um, so back to the Agenda 2030, where my head's at and where everything is steering. Now, I was originally gonna finish college, go get a job, probably work a job I hate until retirement. But then I was opened to this guy named Alex Sedlak, who completely changed my view on everything. Anyway, he's a social media influencer
Mm-hmm.
with probably well, his TikTok has I think 3 million followers
Yeah.
um itself. And then with the other ones, have you ever heard of him or
Who?
Alex Sedlak? Just so I can
No, I have not.
no. See, I have to talk about it because if I just say Alex Sedlak and leave it at that, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
Right. So this guy's
you,
like an
you know what I mean?
inspiration to you for your
But anyway, yeah,
for what you
he's
do.
an inspiration. He's totally changed my mindset over the last 2 or 3 years. I've personally talked to him
Mm-hmm.
myself, but anyway, his TikTok is where his largest audience is. He's probably got 2 or 3 million followers, something around there. I don't remember. And then his other socials probably all have over 100,000. So he's definitely an influencer. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Right.
it's a little bit complicated. So a few years ago, I joined a program of his called Create Your Reality, right? which the name suggests you're trying to create your reality,
Right.
but he helped people create their reality and rewire their brains.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I learned about the subconscious and conscious and whatever. There's, layers and depth to this in each community.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not going to talk about that for hours. But anyway, he started with that community, right? Which was really helpful to open my eyes to holy shit, college is not the only option. Because yes, there is other options in college. You have to find what's, best for you.
Right.
So I was in that community with him. That opened my mind into everything to, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So, after joining that and talking to everyone in the community, I was thinking to myself, how do I get out of college without going broke?
Right.
Now, I like to be brutally honest with you. I am suffering from medical debt right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have any money, which is why I'm still stuck living at home with my family.
Yeah.
If I didn't have those health problems, I don't remember. Did I talk about that on this recording? Or was that before the recording?
You did mention about like the medical debt off the recording.
I'll just re-mention it just in case.
Yeah.
But anyway, I used to for like a year or two, I had really bad pain in my stomach where I'd have to hold it. It was so bad. It was invincible or lie down. I literally couldn't do anything. And different doctors were telling me different things. No one could diagnose me, and I'm like, great. So I
Right.
suffered for like 2.5 years
Uh-huh.
um, with this thing, right? And what was I gonna say? Then finally, I had an endoscopy, which, by the way, most people they don't have their first endoscopy until they're like 40 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I was definitely on the way younger end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Um, Most people, when they're in their 40s or 50s, they get them to make sure there's no problems inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I have to find out what's going on down here. And
Right.
anyway, I had an ulceration, which I still haven't solved,
Oh.
like an ulcer.
Mm-hmm.
So that was making my stomach really hurt, right? I am taking some pills for that, but that's only a temporary solution. Now, uh, I'm about to lose insurance, so I actually don't have enough money to get another endoscopy to see why they came there. The only explanation I had, the college food. I
Mm-hmm.
partly blame that. I never had issues
Yeah.
before the college food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, throughout middle school and high school, I always brought food from home, to eat at school during lunch and that stuff.
Right.
And I swear it was the college food. As soon as I started eating that shit,
Mm-hmm.
I started having problems.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know, the ingredients in food in this country, they're not the best.
Mm-hmm.
The USDA allows a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
other countries ban. And then, of course, if you want the healthier stuff that other countries already have access to, you have to pay a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, Whole Foods Market. I used to work there, and let's just say that 3 or 4 items could run you over $100.
Wow.
I mean, everything's expensive these days.
Yeah.
So
But still, that's
um,
yeah.
most big grocery trips are gonna get you over $100.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyway, Whole Foods was better than other places because I also worked at another grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and I compared the ingredients. I noticed that the ingredients at Whole Foods were a lot better,
Yeah.
but of course, it's a lot more expensive. Because I noticed that this country favors the wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the more money you have, the easier shit is to do and whatever.
Yeah.
All these billionaires, they're all paying people to cook for them, clean for them, go
Yeah.
get a car. They're literally doing nothing.
I mean, the more money you have, the
Except
more
for,
access to things you can get your hands on. I
hmm
mean, money
Yep. But
money
anyway,
unfortunately they do talk. So
yep. So anyway, what was I stemming off of this? I want to go back to it. I went off track again.
I
That ADHD is really,
yeah I
of course,
yeah
just to make sure we get it through.
you
Let me first finish the other thought, and then you can ask me the question. So anyway,
okay
part of positivity and being happy is, distancing yourself from other people, which unfortunately this world has made it harder to do
mm-hmm.
unless you have money.
Right
The more money you have, the more you can distance. Like even just being in this house, I can talk there's no one to the right or left of me because there's no other apartment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's partly my, family's well-doing, not mine, but you get the point. Anyway, another thing that um, helps me, stay positive and happy is um, exercise and eating good food. Your body
Mm-hmm.
is your health, I think, is the most important asset that you have and is the most important thing that you can take care of. If you're not healthy, then you cannot do anything else.
Right.
A healthy man has 100 wishes. A unhealthy man has one wish. What is that one wish? To get healthy, to be able to do something again. Because it sucks to be sick. It sucks to not. I don't know if you've ever heard that quote before or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, the healthy man has 100 wishes because he can do whatever he wants. Where the unhealthy man, once he realizes he's sick, he has one wish: get healthy. Oh, I had one wish that whole time. I had the ulcer and
Mm-hmm.
was suffering through that pain. I just wanted to get healthy. I'm like, I can't live like this the rest of my life.
Right.
That pain teaches you something undescribable. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's showing you, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, I eat fruits, vegetables, mostly whole foods. I am gonna not lie, I do sometimes eat processed foods, but with every
Yeah.
meal, I at least pair it with fruit
Yeah.
and healthy stuff
Mm-hmm.
to at least give balance. Back to balance.
Yeah.
Um, and then also exercising releases serotonin,
Mm-hmm.
the happy, feel good wake up. I take a 30-minute to an hour long walk every day, and man, I feel fucking great after.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because the serotonin gets boosted. Or if I start to get tired
Mm-hmm.
and I go take a walk, holy shit, I'm productive and I feel so awake the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Why? Because that exercise.
Right.
But anyway, I just wanted to finish that thought we were on, and then I'll let you fire away at your questions,
Okay.
just so we
Yeah.
can try to get it done in the next 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. No, and I agree with you because like lately, because like before I changed my diet to eating more whole foods, I was eating more so
Mm-hmm,
of like fried foods and like fast food and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
and just
That stuff
overall,
depresses you, and then you can't think properly, and then you
right? I
get
just get
sad, depressed,
not only am I
and you can't be
physically
happy. You can't think positive.
right, I mean it's input output, essentially. So like
Mm-hmm.
what you
Yep.
intake,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna affect like
If you
what
take
you
care of your health, yep. If you take care of your health, you can take care of the rest of your,
mm-hmm,
you know, life.
right.
If you're not healthy, you can't make as much money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not healthy, you can't move as fast if someone's coming to attack you, even though that's less likely. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that's more helpful where I live since I do live near a bunch of forest.
Yeah.
I have been stalked by multiple bobcats. That's the main issue here.
Oh wow.
One got within 5 feet of me, but I noticed and turned around. And as soon as I turned around, I think it was going to attack me.
Holy
I
shit.
turned around. It just stared at me. It stared up at me like I wasn't doing anything. And
Damn.
then it decided to go away, probably because I discovered it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
bobcats, they're so quiet.
Yeah. Um.
Oh my god. But anyway, fire away.
Yeah. It's funny like how like the conversations that we've been having. You did answer like some of the questions I had for you, but
Hmm.
I do want to ask you like when you first made your TikTok account, was there was there an original like different intention behind it than what you do now for your account?
Do you mind being more specific? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking.
Um, so like what you do with your account right now, you make videos talking about like positivity and just like essentially
Hmm.
it's like you're talking
And I'm
to
trying
the
to like push other people.
right exactly. So that's what your intention
Hmm.
is behind the account right now. But when you first made
Hmm.
your account, did you did you have like a different plan for it? Did you have a different idea of what you wanted to do with your account, or was that always something you wanted to do?
So I've always wanted to get into somewhere where I could help. I don't do it a lot, but I've realized that it really brings me joy when I help people.
Mm-hmm.
Now my high school did require us to depending on what level you were trying to go for,
Mm-hmm.
either 4 hours of community service every school year, or I think 30 to 40 hours of community service every year. That's if you're going for the National Honor Society. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I had to hit 4 hours of community service and volunteering every school year. So that's 16 hours over the 4 years, right? Not a
Yeah.
lot. And then turn it into my school. But I realized I really liked doing that.
Right.
But I actually didn't have time to volunteer more. So I'm like, I'm doing the minimum four.
Mm-hmm.
But sometime in the future, I'd like to work for, or there's another lady. Her name is Beauty to the Streets,
Yeah.
and she basically helps the homeless in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Northern California. Basically, anywhere California and Las Vegas. Her home base is Las Vegas, so she most.
Oh. Oh. Yikes.
Yep, I want to do something like that because it just seems like an incredible thing
Mm-hmm.
that she. Um, if mention and finish from Alex Sedbeck. So as part of that Create Your Reality community, right? And then eventually I joined a reality called TikTok Money, which was the first TikTok shop community to reach 50,000 members. So I did start TikTok shop a bit as a little bit of a side income. I don't make a lot of money from it yet, but I know in the future I will. And then now I'm in a more condensed version of it called Media Labs. And basically it's a whole community actually on Discord, um, where everyone helps each other make money on TikTok. The community in the whole, I think, in the past few months since starting, has made like $3 or $4 million collectively. That's
Wow.
the that's before taxes and everything else. So realistically, I think it's more like 500 or 6,000, 500,000 or 600,000 between about 800 people.
Yeah.
um, I'm probably one of the smaller creators, and like he helped me reform my whole, um, you know, brain and idea on life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Realizing that college is not the only option. So that's where I come from and think,
Yeah.
just spread love and positivity. Anyway, now we can go back to your question. I just like to make sure I finish
Yeah.
each conversation we have since we're talking about multiple things in full
Yeah.
before we, go on.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of people can do that. They can't tie it back to, oh shit, we didn't, you
Yeah.
know,
I got you.
finish that conversation. Most people will just keep drilling on. But I'm pretty smart. My brain connects there. It connects so many things at once. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
But anyway, not everyone can do that, and it took me a few years to rewire my brain, which
Yeah.
you have to do to think positively
Mm-hmm.
and happily and live a better, more abundant life.
Yeah. Right.
If that makes sense.
No,
But
that does make
I,
sense.
I wouldn't be doing any of the I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff if I didn't randomly run into Alex Sedlock on social media.
Yeah.
That one coincidence
Mm-hmm.
changed my whole perspective
Right.
because he was the one that taught me you don't have to be in college. You don't have to, you know, you can do whatever you want. College is the best option for some people, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah. No,
But
for
anyway,
sure.
since we're done with that, let's just keep drilling up. Again, I just remembered
Yeah.
I had to finish that.
And I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yep, you're welcome. Just so the thought doesn't, linger there like, wait, he didn't finish talking about that.
What do you think is like the most important thing to keep in mind for when you're going through like a tough time in your life, like when you're struggling through life, going through the lows of your life, what do you think is the most important thing to keep in mind during those times?
Let me think. What is the most important thing to keep in mind when you're going through a tough time? Well, some people are going to take this good, some people are not going to take this good. I try to talk positively to people
Mm-hmm.
and tell them to stay positive. Specifically, my dad, I've told him to do that, but he always stays in a negative mindset. Um, it is up to you to try to think positively and try to rewire your brain. You don't have to think and stay stuck in the ways that you have been trained or conditioned or indoctrinated in. Because up to the age of 7, your brain is more active in creating your reality. So whatever you see from age 0 to 7 is more likely to be your reality. After age 7, it is harder to get out of a negative mindset if you've been living in a negative place. But anyway, the best thing you can do is to try to think positively. Try to think. I know I said this before, but this is honestly what I do. If a negative thought creeps in, you say, "No, that thought is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to think positively and happily, and everything will work out beautifully magical." If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Or this will work out. If you, for example, if you say, "No, that soccer tournament is going to go shit," well, you don't know. It's in the future. Or the job interview is going to go shit. If you're thinking negatively during it, it might. If you're thinking positively, "Oh, these people, the interviewers, they don't have anything against me. They're just trying to see if I'm the best fit for the job. Let me just be myself and talk to them."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you're assuming things. It's not. You're creating
Yeah.
the problems in your head is not really based in reality. You know, you're just
hmm
and
And this is why this is why I love talking to people, because everyone has a different perspective,
right.
and everyone can give you a different story and a different way to live life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to you based on everyone's different perspectives and stories, because everyone talks differently, everyone says something different to you.
Right.
You take whatever someone else says to you and do what is best for you, because you may agree with it, you may not agree with it.
Yeah. No, Tony. I totally agree with that. And
That's basically how my mind works.
right. Because I think it's good to like feel the things that you feel, but you shouldn't let yourself be
hmm
stuck in that. And ultimately, it
Don't
is up
bottle.
to you to change your perspective. You know, kind of rewire the kinks of it and be like, you know what?
hmm
There's always, I mean, like it's such a cliche saying, but there's always a rainbow at the end of the storm. You know, so
hmm Yep.
this shall
hmm
come past. You know, like nothing is ever
You
permanent.
just got to keep going and go through the storm. You might get struck by lightning, you might get hit by rain, but at the end, it might
Mm,
be $1 million,
right.
something like that.
Something like that.
You got to think positively.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Most things that you think actually don't happen. It's a defense mechanism by your body. Your body always thinks of the worst possible outcome, but then you ever notice
Mm-hmm.
the worst possible outcome usually doesn't happen.
No.
Most likely, it's way more positive. You have to think, "Oh, yeah, that bad thing could happen," but the more positive is more likely to happen.
Right. Because I mean, it's human nature to really assume the worst. I mean, because
Mhm.
it's
No,
like you're
yep,
trying to
go ahead.
prepare for that, essentially.
hmm
But
Yep.
really, you should be giving every situation or every person or anything the benefit of the doubt. You know, like
hmm
just
Yep.
trying to.
Because you've never been in their shoes before. You don't know what someone is going through. Don't judge a book by its cover. I may seem all happy and positive and stuff,
Right.
but I've told you, I've when I'm not on a call or talking to someone, I sometimes get sad. I sometimes cry.
Right.
I sometimes have those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, my headphones just told me that they're gonna die soon. Okay, I think we're good for now.
Mm-hmm.
All I heard is a beep in my headphones.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, oh yeah, the right ones just went. So now I can only hear in my left. Um,
But you're human at the
but
end of the
anyway,
day.
yep, you're human. Have you ever heard the saying, "The 5 closest people you hang out with create your reality and create your thoughts"? Like, if you're with a bunch of negative broke people, you're probably going to be the sixth negative and broke person.
I've heard
Whereas
it.
if you surround yourself with 5 positive billionaires,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you might not be a billionaire, but you're probably going to make millions of dollars if you act on it yourself, because you're surrounding yourself with those 5 people.
Because
They're
they
all going to push
influence
you
you.
out of your comfort. They're all going to push you out of your comfort zone to get better.
Right.
Those negative broke friends are not going to do that for you.
No.
No way.
Yeah.
You have to find the people that push you, and comfort is a drug, and then learn better, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Let's see. What's another question I can ask you? Because I mean, like
By
throughout
the way,
our
just a quick question. You probably got a lot more out of this call than you thought you would, right? Because I'm willing
yeah,
to talk for forever.
no, it's happening. Because I mean, like I said, like from the past conversations we've been having, you already answered like a lot of the questions I already like listed.
Hmm.
Um,
I like to take care of other people and make sure they're not left in the dust.
right.
A lot of people, they don't think like that. They just send out the message and then forget to answer the other part, or they don't even message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's um, what is? I'm trying to think of like the question.
What is that word that is escaping us? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's
Let's keep drilling through the questions since we have like 10 minutes.
yeah.
Whatever you want to ask me, go ahead, rapid fire.
I mean you pretty much like answered
And
like
I'm gonna, if you do have any more questions, I am gonna answer slowly and methodically because
mm,
a lot of people, they just spew out an answer without thinking, and then there might be consequences or it might be fine. Where I like to talk it out nice and slow to make sure I'm not, saying anything.
yeah,
After or sometimes after every TikTok video, I watch the video through to make sure I didn't say anything too off.
right.
Or actually, as I'm saying it, I actually delete the video
Mm-hmm.
that I literally just filmed if I heard something I don't like or it's not going to go on social media.
Right. No, I understand that because I mean like whenever I'm editing and like I hear something I don't like, I would cut it out, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um,
By the way, just quick question. You want to give me your phone number after this? You seem like a cool dude.
yeah, sure. I'd be down for that.
Sure. I just have to ask because some people are, no, I don't want this random stranger that I just met, even though we both seem cool with each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I would love to keep having more
Oh,
conversations with you.
and then I'm gonna go take that your phone number and give it to the FBI and tell them that you murdered someone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Whoa,
Just know I like to joke.
you got me nervous there.
Oh wow, he's so hot. Just
Um,
know any future conversations we have, I like to joke.
uh,
But then I'll tell you if it's a joke or not.
Laughter is the best
And
medicine,
I
after
know,
all.
I know, I know you said that I answer most of your questions, but do you have like any other questions in the last
I
10 minutes you want to ask me?
I do want to like wrap up with I guess like a couple things. What?
By the way, quick question. Are
Yes.
you gonna put all the clips in order, or are you just gonna cut out the parts that I wasn't talking about? What I mean by that is you're not gonna take each clip and put it where you think it sounds best,
Mm-hmm.
but rather you're just gonna cut out the parts that you don't need and then just keep it in one solid motion.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like which
thinking of
one?
going for. I think I was gonna just cut out the
Because I
parts
know
that.
I know I went all over. I know I
Yeah.
went all over the place
No, it's okay.
with something, so some things don't flow when we're not
Yeah.
sure.
I am gonna cut out like some of the parts that I don't feel is necessary to the video, and then
And are you gonna like put it on YouTube or TikTok or multiple clips? Like, what's your plan, or what was your plan?
it's gonna be one video, and it's gonna be put on both YouTube
Because
and
obviously,
TikTok.
because TikTok has a 10-minute limit.
Yeah. Uh,
So if you go over 10 minutes, you're gonna have to, do multiple videos or parts.
yeah, which I'm totally okay with that. But the whole entirety of the
Mm.
video will be on YouTube on my channel, which is the same
Also,
name
is
as
there
my
any?
Discord.
Yep. Um. Also, once you post all that stuff, I'm totally fine to repost and share that stuff to my TikTok and that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I appreciate
'Cause
that.
this is a wonderful,
Yeah.
you know, because I kind of want it for myself. It's better engagement. It shows me more.
Right.
Now we do have to be a bit careful. I am probably going to let you um, do more of the content and put me up on the internet more from your perspective or what we have talked about. just because, I don't know if you know, TikTok has this thing called metadata where they don't like duplicates. So I can't post the exact same video and content as you. I
Oh
can
no, that's
repost it
fine.
and add it to my story,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
fine.
don't think I can take the exact same clip and post the exact same videos or clips that you would have edited if you were to send those to me
Oh yeah, no,
because of TikTok's metadata.
that's completely
Because
fine.
you would post it first, right? You'd get the normal. TikTok has test groups, right? It sends it out
Mhm.
to 200, 300 people first, and then if engagement's good,
Yeah,
keep sending it out to larger and larger test
right.
groups, right? But if you post first, and then I post the exact same video after,
Mhm.
mine might get zero because TikTok might be like, this Joshua guy is stealing this Kyle's content.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've,
I mean, like at the
I've
end of
had
the
it.
day.
I've had it happen before. I tried running. I tried running multiple accounts at
Mm,
once. That other account always had like zero views because
damn.
I was
Yeah.
posting the
TikTok does have
exact
like
same
weird.
stuff on this account
Yeah, they do have like systems like
because
that put in place, which makes
TikTok
sense.
knows.
Yeah. Um.
The TikTok algorithm
Yeah.
is weird. But
I
anyway,
mean.
I just wanted to ask to mention that because I was curious how you were gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
obviously easier to talk about it than text, talk
Right.
later. I mean, I'll have your phone number in a second so we can reach out whenever.
Yeah.
Just know I don't prefer texting. I would prefer to call people.
Mhm.
So we might not talk as often over our phone numbers as we'd like,
Yeah.
just because I'd want to sit down and have a conversation.
Mhm.
Or if I need something for you or you need something from, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And um, and I appreciate like I mean, whether you repost the video or you you share my post on your story or something like that.
Hmm.
I do appreciate
If I'm
all of
just
that.
saying I can't put the exact same video on my
Yeah,
profile,
and I totally
because TikTok
understand
will
that.
know.
Yeah.
Like
Um.
you post it first and then I post it a bit after. TikTok's
Mhm.
wait, the same exact videos on two accounts?
Mhm.
Who is trying to copy the other person?
Right.
That is not allowed. If you posted first, they'd flag me. If I posted first, they'd flag you.
Yeah. Um. So like.
Again, any other questions or thing? Because I know we're approaching
Oh
250.
shit. Yeah. 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 Okay. I do have two things. One is
Mm-hmm.
something I wrote for you because I thought that with given your content where you talk to your viewers and you try to uplift them in positive ways.
I talked to my what? I didn't get the first part. My
Your
who?
viewers, your
I talked to
audience,
my who?
viewers, B I
What was that
E.
first part?
Talk to your viewers like BIEWER.
Uh-oh. It's getting glitchy.
Oh shoot! Can you hear me now?
Hold on.
Am I good now? Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh my god, it's glitchy. Come on, cellular, work with me.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on. Cellular, you gonna work with me? Cellular, work with me. Cellular, hello. All I
Hello.
hear is glitching for a
Okay.
while, that's
Okay.
fine.
Am I good now?
Oh, wait, that sounds normal. That's good.
So I'm good
What were
now.
you saying? You said who's something.
Oh,
Yep, you said who's something. I didn't catch that.
yeah, you make videos where you talk to your audience, right? And you
Your
try to
audience. Yep.
uplift
What
them.
was that
You
other use you? What was that other? What was that other word you used? It was something like
oh
feelers, or
viewers,
that's what I heard.
viewers like BIE
Feelers,
no viewers BIEWERS.
viewers.
Yeah, like you view a video.
Oh, viewers. I wasn't sure exactly what you were saying. I'm like, what did you just say? Feelers? What?
Yeah, that's why I said audience because I feel like that.
Viewers, viewers. Not in the sense. I'm like, continue on.
Yeah. So and you like spread your positive energy to them. You uplift them, and I thought I
You're
would.
glitching again. Oh, this is the
Am I
worst
good?
time to be
I know,
glitching.
cause we're trying to
Like
wrap
right
up.
before we end.
We're trying to
Hold
wrap up.
on, you're glitching. I can't hear you. Why is this happening right before we have to get
Right.
off? Worst timing ever. Cellular, you could have waited like 5 minutes.
um,
Just so you know,
is it good now?
I hear you right now.
You can hear
It
me now.
is glitching.
Okay.
Wow, this is really glitchy.
Okay. So what I wanted to,
This is
yeah. So what I wanted to
nope.
say
This is
was,
you're coming like in and out. Give it a second. Hold
mhm.
on. Keep talking. It might fix itself.
Okay.
Hold on. Just say random stuff. See if it
Uh,
fixes. You can always cut it out.
random stuff. Yeah, blah blah blah. Am I working? Am I good?
I think it's working now,
It's working now.
but it might cut out again.
Am I?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Let's try. Let's try that again. I guess God or the universe doesn't want you to say that thing you wrote to me.
Well, what I wanted to say was that
Funny.
that I wrote this thing because I thought that you deserve to have like that positive energy you put out return back to you, and I just wanted
Hmm.
to share like some kind words with you, where I just wanted to say, um, you have such a kind energy that you share with others as you give them positive words to brighten up their that brightens up their day. But I think it's time for you to have that same energy back returned to you. You have a beautiful soul where your light shines in the dark, and I hope you don't ever dim it in your darkest times. If you're having doubts about yourself, I hope you know that you're worthy of every positive thing that comes your way, and that you're cherished even when it doesn't feel like you are. So I wanted to share those kind words
Wow,
back
that
to you.
was that was beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that. No one has ever written something to me like that before. So that well, yeah, no. I was gonna say the other thing, but no one has ever written those kind words to me before.
Oh,
So thank you. That
of
was
course.
interesting. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, of
Well,
course. I
um,
just
well, most
wanted
of my
to.
life, people were kind to me, but
Mm,
no one really was kind to me. If that makes sense,
yeah.
like they acted kind around me. Like most people I hang out with, they love hanging out with. They love being down and written a whole poetic
Hmm.
message to me. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. And I
Oh
guess
boy, it's
the.
glitching again. Give it a second. Give it a second.
Mhm.
Come on, computer, work with me.
Is it good now?
Hold on, it's glitching again. Why does this happen right before we have to leave? Yeah, it's good now. You notice how this is happening right before you have to go?
Right.
Like we're
Oh.
trying to have closing remarks, and my cellular's like, it ain't gonna happen. Oh,
Is it good
wait
now?
a second. I wonder if it's a high school and middle school near me. They got out about 20 minutes back my cellular. That can
Uh,
make sense.
well, I mean, it doesn't make sense because you cut out for some of that.
Oh wait, that just cut out though?
Yeah, that cut out. But is everything good
Oh
now? Like, are you able to hear me?
God. So you didn't even hear I was saying it makes sense to the thing I had said. Yep, I'm able to hear you. I was saying that my cellular might be throttled back right now because about 20 minutes ago the high school, middle school near me got out and all those kids probably turned their phone on and then the cellular was turned on for
Mm,
them.
I got you.
But I'm like, it's 20 minutes later that this is happening. Wouldn't you think that that would happen 15 minutes
Right.
ago?
Um. But to wrap everything up, though, I
Because
just
sometimes they throw back service if a bunch of people are, using cellular at once.
wait. What?
Yeah, it is past 2:50.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my God,
it's very
glitchy.
unfortunate
Come on,
timing.
work with me. It is past 2:50. You're so glitchy. What if I move my phone closer to me? Let me see if that helps cellular.
Yeah. Okay.
Go
So
ahead and talk.
yeah,
To hear,
is everything good
I'm
now?
just
Like
trying to hear your last thoughts about the cellular.
yeah. Or so is
My
everything?
headphones just died, so give
Uh,
a second. Now I'm not wearing headphones because they just died. The AirPods only last like 2 or 3 hours.
well, I mean, I only got like one more thing for you, and that's it. Which,
But
the
of course,
the
maybe my headphones almost died was making the service bad. I don't know if that's possible.
that is a possibility because it seems like you're working just fine now.
Now it's good. I think it was the
Yeah,
headphones because
yeah,
they
it
just
was
both
the
died.
headphones. I think that might be what it was.
Well, then it wasn't the cellular, it wasn't God, or it wasn't the
Yeah.
universe. Anyway, now we can finally quickly close off because I know you gotta go.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to ask you was like, what's your final message that you would like to leave for the audience of this video? Um, what would you like to say to the audience right now as your final
Well,
message?
first off, thank you everyone who is listened. It might be 200 people, it might be 1,000 people, but if I can inspire you to do anything, just spread positivity and love to the world. Do not think negatively because negativity just leads to scarcity, which just leads to a shitty, fucked up world, if that makes sense. Think
Mm-hmm.
positively, don't think negatively, spread love and light in this messed up world, and we might just have a little bit more hope. I love you all. Thank you, Kyle, for this beautiful message. Thank you to everyone listening for listening to this crazy man talk about hose, bows, and bing. But no, that's not what we're talking about. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But thank you everyone for listening, and I really do appreciate it. I mean,
yeah.
the world is trying to suppress your voice, but you have to go through the noise and be heard. Do what you want, be what you want. Do
Mm-hmm.
not listen to society's expectations of what you should do. Always do what is best for you. Yes, you can take other people's opinions. Yes, you can take other perspectives, but take them and do what you think is best for you. Sit down and think if you need to, and think, what do I want? What do do not oh wait, what was I gonna say? Do what you want, not what others want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just keep spreading love and positivity. That's how we heal this world. There's not enough of it in this world.
Amen.
And it might take a little while to become positive, but you just gotta think positive. I love you all, and thank you all for being here, and thank you, Kyle, for being here as well.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
kind of sounded like a TikTok video at the end.
Uh, I love it. I love the energy. Thank you,
No,
Joshua.
sometimes I have a thought, and then I just, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah.
Which is
I
so
ramble on.
authentic, which I appreciate that so much because you're just being
But also
authentic.
I don't cut out like if I try not to cut out if I like mispronounce a word or if I
Yeah,
do something weird because I'm like, first off, that could help engagement, even though that's a little bit selfish.
yeah,
And second, it makes me more authentic because there's too many fake people on social media. Why
yeah.
don't I cut through the noise and try to be authentic at least?
Right.
That might help me in my personal brand in the future. Oh yeah, I do want a personal brand in the future. So the better I can display myself,
Mm-hmm.
the more customers I could potentially get and make more money. I know that sounds selfish, but hey, I need to make a living.
Right. Understandably so.
But also maybe the personal brand could help someone,
Right.
become more positive light. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but maybe I go work for mercy ships where I help people in less developed countries. A ship pulls up to the port and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a port where there's not healthcare access, and I
Right.
just go work. Now, I wouldn't make any money. It would be volunteer work, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'd be helping a great cause. Go look up mercy ships if you want to support a great cause in Africa. And this is not sponsored, by the way.
But
I just
yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap things up now because it is
give
getting
my
close to
course.
2.
Again, I just wanted to end with that, or that's what I just spewed at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare for this call at all. I'm like, let me just naturally flow, because I feel like if I prepare, that it wouldn't be in the moment. It
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be, authentic. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No. Totally. It
Because if,
totally
if I'm
made
looking at
sense.
notes the whole time, you'll see me like this. So this is what I think. This is what I mean. I might have written it, but it doesn't seem as authentic.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. It's not. It's not coming from the heart. And
Hmm.
I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for agreeing to do this video with me and to get on call with me and just talk and have a chat.
Kyle, I'm so sorry. I have to disagree with you. You're not allowed to share this video. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.